I indicated that there needs to be, we need to make sure that we are not overloading the inspectors in the field with more permits than what they can handle. And we've never had to make those kinds of decisions. And as the data would point out now, we're still not in a position to have to scale back permitting in order to keep up in the field. That's just not the case yet, but it's something that we will consistently, that we constantly look at.
Yeah, if you could describe how they release the flowback from the well.
It looked like they started off with maybe 24, 36 foot worth of pipe, pretty long piece of pipe. Looked like it was in 6 foot or might have been 8 foot sections. And when parts of the, when they would test it to see, how much aggregate or what was coming out, that acid and aggregate would eat certain sections of that pipe up, so they kept shortening it. But they did not 90 it over into the pit like they're supposed to, so that way they could be a buffer. They were just blowing it straight over the bank. And I went to several different well sites where they was doing this at, and the employees was always well far from it while it was being blowed. So they wouldn't get in the middle of it, They wasn't close to it at all. And of course that they call it blowing the well off, and that would last anywhere from 24 to 72 hours, 96 hours, 4 or 5 days. That was constantly. The only time it would get shut off was when they would test it, to see, and then or to replace pipe, because that acid would eat the pipe, iron pipe out.
Okay. And it was real loud?
Very loud, ear piercing sometimes. But that stuff would blow all over the tree. They were getting into the, quite a few times, I guess the wind would change and blow up the holler, which blowed it, up around our home and stuff, other people's home. Definitely sick. Just instantly start puking, nose burning down to your lungs, like almost like sniffing real hard pneumonia. But it didn't go away in 5 or 10 minutes. 3 or 4 days before the puking.
Can you think of anything?
And 3 or 4 months after that, my mother got a breast tumor, and I developed me and her both developed heavy metal poisoning. We're both taking chelation treatments, to get the heavy metal out of our system.
So she has the same problem?
Yes, and the organic compound, volatile organic compound.
Yeah.
I went from having 11 does on my property, and all of them having twins, and 7 of them having triplets, till I got 2 does and 1 fawn. I mean, they laid in the holler after drinking and licking them, those chemicals out of that pit, and some of them, they died within 4 or 5 months, deer did, and, but it took a toll on them. A couple deer that we got through deer season, when we would field dress them out. I mean, there's always something that stinks about field dressing the deer, but their livers, you could tell, were swollen almost double. They was diseased. When you go cutting into the meat, they would be green places that would normally show like an injury, like a deer twisted his leg, or somebody shot at through squirrel seed or something, got a pelt, but there was no injury, was no shot pellet in it, but it was in the muscle and the gland. You know, where the gland area, major gland areas and arteries and blood. You couldn't eat the meat for it. Because if the liver's that contaminated and there's already infection spots throughout that deer, I would just be consuming the same chemical that's going at that deer. So that's your wasting disease. All them chemicals cause neurological problems. Well, that's the main thing that the DNR said that was causing that whatever disease, that wasting disease, it was a neurological problem. Well, these chemicals cause that. And then deer go right there and they eat that, lick that salt, not knowing they're digesting them chemicals 1,000 times more than what we're even breathing when the well blows off. So when you start having a deep population in the animals, it ain't a virus, it ain't coyotes, it's chemical. So what all is it going to do to us?